Let's learn the attachments on scapula. On the costal surface, we have origin of a muscle. That muscle is a subscapularis muscle. So from the medial two-third of the subscapular fossa, we have origin of a multipennate muscle. That muscle is subscapularis muscle. Now, on the dorsal surface, we have two muscles. We have origin of supraspinatus and infraspinatus. So, from the supraspinous fossa, from the medial two-third of supraspinous fossa, along with that, with the superior surface of the spine of scapula, we have origin of supraspinatus muscle. While from the medial two-third of the infraspinous fossa and the inferior surface of the spine of scapula, we have origin of the infraspinatus muscle. So, from the costal surface, subscapularis. From the dorsal surface, we have supraspinatus and the infraspinatus. Now, talking about the spine, so from the lower lip of the crest of spine and from the lateral border of the acromion process, we have origin of a muscle called as the deltoid muscle. So, deltoid takes origin from lower border of the crest, lateral border of the acromion process, along with that from the clavicle also. The next we have is an insertion of muscle. That muscle is the trapezius muscle. So, from the upper border of the crest of scapular spine, so from this upper border, along with the medial border of the acromion process, along with the clavicle, we have insertion of a muscle called as the trapezius muscle. So, on this spine, we have deltoid in the trapezius muscle. After understanding the attachments on the surfaces and the spine, let's see the attachment on the border. So, starting with the medial border of the costal surface, we have insertion of serratus anterior muscle like this. So, from the superior angle till the inferior angle, we have insertion of serratus anterior muscle. The insertion of serratus anterior is also in the form of digitations. So, the first digit of serratus anterior gets inserted from the superior angle till the part where the root of this spine of scapula is there. So, from here till here, we have insertion of the first digit of serratus anterior. While talking about the next two digits, that is the second and third digit, we have the insertion of second and third digit from here till the inferior angle. And at the level of inferior angle, we have the corresponding next 5 digits. That is the 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th digit from the inferior angle. So, this was the attachment on the medial border from the costal aspect. From the costal aspect, lateral border does not have major muscular attachment. But when we look from the lateral aspect, what we appreciate is there is infraglenoid tubercle and supraglenoid tubercle. So, from the supraglenoid tubercle, we have origin of long head of biceps brachii muscle, while from the infraglenoid tubercle, we have origin of the long head of the triceps muscle from here. Now, let's see the attachments on the borders from the dorsal aspect. So, starting with the medial border, we have insertion of the levator scapulae muscle. So, from the superior angle till the root of spine, we have insertion of the levator scapulae muscle. The next we have is the rhomboid muscle. So, opposite to the root of spine, we have insertion of the rhomboid minor muscle. And from the root of spine till the inferior angle, we have the rhomboid major muscle. So, we have levator scapulae, rhomboid minor, and the rhomboid major muscle. While talking about the lateral border, from the lateral border from the dorsal aspect, from the upper two-third of the lateral border, we have origin of a muscle called as the teres minor muscle. So, teres minor muscle takes origin from the upper two-third of the lateral border. And from the lower one-third, we have origin of teres major muscle. So, teres minor and teres major muscle. Talking about the teres minor muscle, the origin of teres minor muscle is in the two slips, and in between the two slips, there runs the circumflex scapular artery. So, we have first slip of teres minor, second slip of teres minor, then we have is the teres major muscle. Now, talking about the attachments on the coracoid plexus, from the tip of coracoid plexus, we have two muscles. Those are the coracobrachialis origin, along with that, the origin of short head of biceps brachii. So, we have coracobrachialis and short head of biceps brachii from the tip part of the coracoid plexus. Talking about the biceps brachii has two origins. That is, first one, the long head is from the supraglenoid tubercle and short head is from the coracoid plexus. Talking about the superior border near this notch we have origin of inferior belly of omohyoid muscle. So from this region, we have origin of the inferior belly of omohyoid. With this, we have completed with the muscular attachments of the scapula. Let's appreciate the ligamentous attachments. Talking about the ligaments, we have three important ligaments. The first one being the coracoacromial ligament. The coracoacromial ligament is attached to the coracoid process as well as to the acromion process. So it is attached to the tip and the medial aspect of acromion process. Along with that, it is attached to the lateral part of the coracoid process. So it is present like this. This is the coracoacromial ligament. The next one which we have is the coracoclavicular ligament. So the coracoclavicular ligament is present between the coracoid process and the clavicle. So superiorly we have clavicle like this. So it is present between the clavicle and the coracoid process. So we have two attachment in the form of conoid tubercle and the trapezoid ridge. So coracoclavicular ligament has two parts, the conoid tubercle and the trapezoid ridge part. The next ligament which we have is the coracohumeral ligament. So the coracohumeral ligament is present between the coracoid process and the humerus bone. So it arises from the root of coracoid process and gets attached to the humerus bone. So after studying the three important ligaments, let's appreciate the glenoid labrum. So this is the glenoid cavity, and on the margins of the glenoid cavity, we have presence of a cartilage which makes this cavity more whiter and more deeper, occupy the head of humerus. So we have glenoid labrum, which is cartilaginous part attached to the margins of the glenoid cavity. And to this margins, we have attachment of the capsular ligament of the shoulder joint. The next one which we have is the acromioclavicular joint between the acromion process and the clavicle. So over this region also, we have capsular ligament of the acromioclavicular joint. After studying about the two joints, the next we have is the two notch. So this is the suprascapular notch. This notch is the suprascapular notch. So on the superior aspect of the suprascapular notch, we have transverse ligament, which makes this notch into a foramen. So this is converted into a foramen, and this foramen transmits the suprascapular nerves and vessels. Talking about the spinoglenoid notch, this is the spinoglenoid notch. And over here, we have presence of spinoglenoid ligament like this. So there is spinoglenoid ligament. This spinoglenoid ligament converts the spinoglenoid notch into spinoglenoid foramen, and suprascapular nerves and vessels transmit through this spinoglenoid notch. With this, we have completed with the anatomy of the scapula. Thank you so much for watching.